Hi everyone, I'm Catherine. I'm a singer and yodeler and vocal coach, and today I'm gonna break down the yodeling parts of Einen Jodler Hör again by Franzl Lang, the Yodeling King from Bavaria. A very popular song. It is a little bit harder, and it can be harder for English speakers who don't speak German just because there are different syllables in this song. But I'm going to break it down so that you have an easier time learning it. You can follow along with me and try all the different parts. If you want some easier yodeling songs to start with, please check out my other yodel breakdowns in my Yodeling 101 playlist. They might be easier to start with, but if you want a challenge, then you're in the right place. Before we get started, I just want to say that I'm only going over the yodeling parts of this song. I'm not going over the verses. If you are interested in learning how to sing the German lyrics of this song, then let me know. I can make a separate video for that. Today we're only focusing on the yodels. The song is structured in two parts. Basically, it's one time through the song, and then the same thing repeats. So we really only need to learn that one time through. What we're learning is the tiny little bit of intro yodel that we have. And then there's yodel part 1, and then there's yodel part 2. We're gonna go over all those, and you'll be yodeling Einen Jodler Hör again in no time. Let's get started. Let's start by listening to that short yodel intro, and then we'll go over that. It's very helpful for any of these songs, and I'm going to do it for you here, to write down the syllables before you even attempt to do the whole yodel melody thing. So either go with the melody first or with the syllables. Let's start with the syllables right now. Sometimes it's slightly different. With older recordings, you can't always tell exactly what every single consonant is, but I think we're good to go with this. And the melody. Try that first. I'm not adding the yodels yet, as you noticed. What you'll hear in Bavarian and Austrian yodeling a lot is the vowel U, the U with the 2 dots. And you might not be able to pronounce that or say it. It always feels weird. I've heard a lot of Americans try it and they struggle with it. It's literally a mix between E and U. So if you slide from E to U, E, it's somewhere in the middle, or U to E. Ooh. I think it's easier going from E to U. You don't have to do that vowel perfectly. The vowels aren't super important. You can either do a E or a U, but if you hear like a weird mix between the two, that's why it sounds like that. So, and since this is kind of just the intro, it's not like a full-on yodel part yet. You could totally do that whole part in head voice, and nothing is wrong with that. Or you can do whatever parts that feel good in chest voice, do it in chest voice. You'll see in my notation, as always, the lowercase letters are chest voice for me. The uppercase letters are head voice for me. And again, this part, if we listen to it one more time, I'm pretty sure a lot of it is just head voice. It's mainly head voice. That one's kind of chest voice there, but you could do it on the head voice. Works better for the range that it's in. Let's get to the actual bigger yodeling part, because that one will be fun and that one will be challenging. Let's go this far. This part repeats a few times. It slightly changes as far as the notes go because the chords change. But if you get this first line down, that will be a big part of this yodel part. Let's stick with the order that we've done things in. Let's do the syllables first today and then the melody. Holare. So you can do, with D's and R's, there's like a fine distinction. So you can either say holare, 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 oh, if you can roll your R's. If you can't roll your R's, just go with the D's. Holiday, 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 oh. Sometimes when we go fast, the R's roll a little bit better. They flow a little bit better. Sometimes they are really very interchangeable and you might not always hear exactly if it's a D or an R. Holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, reedle-doody, ho. So, holiday, 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 oh. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, oh. Whether you say dreedle-doody or reedle-doody, both works, but if you can't roll your R's, the more D's you put in there, the more it'll sound like this. I would recommend you practice rolling your R's if you want to do more Bavarian and Austrian type yodeling because there's a lot of that in there. One more time. Holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, reedle-doody, ho. If that's too fast for you, slow down this video so you can follow along. So the melody for that part goes holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. All right, a little bit slower. You can just do the do's again for the melody. Do 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 do. Let's do it with the flips. Holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. One more time, a little faster. Holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. As you notice, not all of the yodels have flips in this song. Some of them are dreedle. When there is a consonant in the middle of a yodel, you can't really get the flip there. Dreedle, dreedle, dree, dree. It's different than dreedle, but it still goes down to chest voice. All right, the second part after that is pretty much the same thing, except that the chords go opposite now, so the melody slightly changes with that, but it's the same syllables. And it's the second half of the holiday, 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 ho. It's the dreedle-doody, holiday that changes the notes slightly for this part. I'm gonna do the second out of these 4 parts for this yodel part. I hope that's not confusing. So we come from here. We come from holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. Now we go into holiday, 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 ho. And here's the way it's different. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. And then we do the same thing as the first part again. Holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. And then we do the same thing as the second part, but only the first half. Holiday, 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 ho. And here we go into holiday, ho. Okay? Let's do that whole part 1, 2, 3, 4 together. The syllables are really staying the same and the melody isn't changing too much except for the very end. So, holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. Holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. Holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. Holiday, 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 ho. Holiday, ho. Holiday, ho. If we go faster, it sounds like this. Holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. Holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. Holiday, 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 ho. Dreedle-doody, holiday, dreedle-doody, ho. Holiday, 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 ho. Holiday, ho. We could go even faster. He obviously goes faster, but you know, start slow and then speed it up. That was the first big yodel part. The second one I find it slightly easier because it's just a little more straightforward. There's not as many complicated sounds in there as in this part. So I I do it slightly different than him, but there's not a huge difference. He goes, ho-la-diddle-doo-dee-oh, ho-la-diddle-doo-dee-oh. I go, ho-la-doo-dee-oh, ho-la-doo-dee-oh. I put more of a flip in there than he does in this case. Let's just do it my way because it's easier for me to show you because I'm so used to it. But again, it's not a huge difference. If you want, you could just hold that de there. Ho-la-doo-dee-oh instead of ho-la-doo-dee-oh. Okay, so small difference. You might have a preference. Go with whatever you like. Ho-la-doo. Here's the oo part in there. Ho-la-doo. Actually, we still have some complicated. Sounds in there, especially for English speakers. But you can, instead of ho-la-re, you can say ho-la-de here. That totally works. And then if the oo is hard, you just go e. So instead of ho-la-re-i-do-di-o, you can go ho-la-de-i-di-di-o. Totally works. So feel free to change that as you need. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o. It's a lot of oos there. So let's start with the first little part. It repeats. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o. Just that much. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o. One more time, and then we'll add the yodels. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o. So the notes go with the chords again, as you might notice. And then ho-la-re-i-di. So here you have time for a quick breath. Ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do-i-di-di. It's a lot of random syllables, it seems. You can change them. You don't have to stick to his version exactly. Ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do-i-di-di-di. Ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do-i-di-di-di. Let's sing that. So you breathe. Ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do-i-di-di-di. Hi you guys, as I'm editing this, I'm noticing that the melody should go ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di. So the E goes up. I went down a bunch of times as I was recording it, and I'm doing it right later in this video, but just keep that in mind. Ho-la-re-i-di. So you go up, ho-la-re-i goes up. Yeah, it's not a huge difference, but just keep that in mind. That's your melody. Let's add the yodels in. Ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu. So again, as with earlier parts, the yodel flips don't always come through when we have the hui in there. When we have any sort of consonant, you won't have or feel the flip. Ho-la-re-i, ho-la-re-i-di, ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do-i-di-di. But here's the e-di-di, so that way you can flip there. Ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do-i-di-di. Ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do-i-di-di. Okay, and then we do the same thing as always. It repeats. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o, ho-la-re-i-do-di-o, ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-di-di. So in the end, this part is just simplified. Let's go over that whole second yodel part one more time. I do still think it's a little bit more straightforward than the other part, but maybe that's just me. So let's go through that part one more time. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o, ho-la-re-i-do-di-o, ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do-i-di-di. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o, ho-la-re-i-do-di-o, ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-di. Or actually what he does in the end, if you like the high note, ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do-i. So you go up to a high E. You go up an octave. So it sounds like there's some O's in there as well, but anytime you can't pronounce a vowel, you just go to the more simple version of it and it's going to sound just fine. One more time that part with that high ending. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o, ho-la-re-i-do-di-o. Breathe. Ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do-i-di-di. Ho-la-re-i-do-di-o, ho-la-re-i-do-di-o, ho-la-re-i-di-e-hu-di-di-e-do. And that's your grand finale. After that, the song repeats intro, verses, yodel part 1, yodel part 2, and then it ends the same way. And that's it. Let's go through it one more time. I'm gonna sing the verses for you just so you can get a better idea of the song. Feel free to sing along. I'm gonna put the lyrics here. I'm not gonna go into how to pronounce everything, but maybe you can just figure it out by going slow and reading along. Einen Jodler hör ich gern, aus der Nähe und von der Fern. Mit der Liebe im Herzen drin, singt ihn jede Sennerin. One more verse. Darum zieh ich jedes Jahr in die Berge, das ist klar. Und ich sing mit frohem Sinn, weil ich dann im Urlaub bin. Yodele, 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 yo, triddeludi, yodele, triddeludi, yo, holade, yodele, yodele, yo, triddeludi, yodele, triddeludi, yo, holade, yodele, yodele, yo, triddeludi, yodele, triddeludi, yo, holade, yodele, yodele, yo, holade, uidi, ho, holade, uidi, yo, holade, uidi, yo, holade. I hope this tutorial helped you. Please let me know if you can now yodel this song, and if you do record it somewhere, please tag me either on TikTok, Instagram, whatever else you're on, or maybe even here on YouTube. I would love to hear it. And I, as always, want to know what you thought of this video in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you need more help with your yodeling, get my free yodeling guide, How to Teach Yourself How to Yodel, in the video description. It's free. You can get it today. And also let me know if you need more hands-on help. I offer private coachings for yodeling and singing lessons. If you need me, if you need some ears on what you're already doing and maybe need some extra pointers, I'm here to help you. I'm super happy you came here to yodel with me today and to yodel the song. Let's make the world a happier place with more yodeling, because it really does bring joy to the person who yodels and to the people who hear it. So thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.